Hi, I'm Cheryl Duffy, the founder of the Divorce Centre and a divorce coach, conflict coach, family dispute resolution practitioner, and parenting coordinator. Now, I help families impacted by separation and divorce, and I find the biggest problem is they're not achieving emotional support at the onset of separation. Now, this sets them up for a very high conflict journey if they don't have that emotional support. I find a lot of people feel that their go-to person for divorce is engaging with a lawyer. So both parties lawyer up and the battle can begin. So that's where they are looking at getting a winner and a loser. Now that's been going on for many, many years where people feel that they need to rush out and engage with a lawyer. I'm here to tell you that is not the right approach. You're not ready for negotiation. You're not emotionally ready in your mindset to be able to be cooperative, to be able to be empathetic to the other party, to be able to look at the big picture of being able to get through this and prioritizing your challenges. It's important to be able to understand that having someone else go into battle for you is just going to cost you an extortionate amount of money. I find I have a lot of people come to me when they've been engaged with lawyers and they've already sunk thousands and thousands of dollars before even getting to an agreement. So I want to share something with you today so that you can see that there is a different pathway that you can take. So as I mentioned, if clients are not emotionally supported at the onset of separation, their emotions can run high. This can lead to high conflict, high anxiety, and high stress for the whole family, not just for you and your ex, but the kids as well, because they're impacted by the tension, by the parents that are warring against each other in battling out what's going to happen for parenting arrangements and financial settlements. So the current pathway, as you may all know, and for many, many years, people have been rushing out to go to a divorce lawyer. Now, they'll engage with a divorce lawyer possibly for the whole duration of their separation, and they get their legal advice. The lawyers are negotiating with the other party's lawyer, and that goes backwards and forwards. And the lawyer is one of the most expensive resources in divorce. Sure, the lawyers are able to do your orders for you and they can do your court application. So if you engage with a lawyer for the whole duration of your separation, it's highly costly, but it can be high conflict as well. It's not until the court application is about to occur that the lawyer may send you off for mediation to try and work it out together, because that's a pre-action to the court application. But you know what? If the conflict's really, really high, you have a lower chance of reaching agreement by going to mediation at that point. So a better pathway is the supported pathway that has you engaging with a divorce coach who is much lower in cost. They're like a triage. They provide you with the emotional support. You may want to be able to tell your story and how it's affecting you. You may want to vent about how you feel that your life has fallen apart and what are you going to do with all this uncertainty ahead. A divorce coach will help you prepare and plan, prioritizing the challenges so that you feel more empowered, that you've got a bit more control amidst the chaos. They get you to be more child-focused as opposed to looking at how the breakup has affected you, and look at how it's affecting the whole family and particularly the children. So our behaviors when we're going through separation, we can be panicking, we can be quite revengeful with the ex, we might be not our best selves. So it's really, really important to have someone who's going to be able to coach you in being able to help you help your family. So it's like getting on the plane and there's a crisis and the oxygen masks drop down. They always tell you to look after yourself on putting the oxygen mask before helping the children. You really need that support. Now, a divorce coach is like going to a GP. So you go to your doctor to be able to then be referred out to the right professional or the right specialist to help you in key areas. So you might need to go and see a psychologist or a counsellor if you're really struggling to be able to be coached in the separation journey. You may have had triggers occur that the divorce has triggered some abandonment issues that you've had from your childhood, which will be able to then have you referred to a psychologist to help you through that. You may need to be able to speak with an accountant for business valuations or any trusts that you may have, so you can be referred out to a financial team. There may need to be a child consultant brought into mediation so the child's voice is heard. And then after you have your orders, you might find, if you are high conflict, that you need a parenting coordinator to help you implement those orders. So those are all the optional specialists that you may need in your separation journey. Not saying you will need them all, but they're there to be able to, the divorce coach can tell you all of the different optional specialists that you have access to. Now, in this separated, supported pathway, you're able to have the conflict de-escalated up front, have that emotional support to create some calm so that you feel more empowered to go forward in the separation to negotiate. So a divorce coach will always make sure that you go and get some legal advice from a divorce lawyer. Now that just takes one session, but the divorce coach is going to help you collate all of your information, whether that's all your financial situation with your assets, whether that's going to be your parenting arrangements, what you had pre-separation and what you hope for into the future. Once you have your legal advice, then it's time to go and do family dispute resolution or mediation for parenting and property. So usually people do parenting first because that has an impact on knowing what the financial split for property, one of the factors for financial settlement. So as you can see, the dollar signs here are representing the costs through your pathway. So you need to see that on the current pathway, going directly to a lawyer for the duration of the separation is extremely costly. So doing it this way on the supported pathway, you'll then go for that mediation. And hopefully at that stage, because you've had that emotional support to be able to de-escalate and be prepared to understand what you want out of the mediation to reach an agreement and look at options and be fully prepared to be able to go into mediation to negotiate and to be able to look at it from a whole family perspective, as opposed to this is what I'm entitled to and that's what I want and I'm very positional on that, I'm not budging. Then you won't make an agreement and will end up having to go to court, going to a lawyer for a court application. And that's where the costs really escalate. So it's really important to be able to give yourself the opportunity to go through the supported pathway that will help and guide you to go to the right people at the right time, but also get you to be in the right mindset for negotiation, so that you have a better chance of reaching an agreement in mediation, so that then is the time that once that agreement has been made, you go to a lawyer to have your orders drawn up, which is far less expensive than going through the court process. Now, court, if you end up going through the court process, all your legal fees can end up being 100,000 plus, and that's per party, and can take 1 to 2 years to get through the court system. So if you think separation is stressful, going through the court process is 10 times worse. So it's really important that if you want to be able to go through your separation and finalize your matter in a calm and cooperative way to be able to reach an agreement so that you can set up two loving homes for your children, so that your children are well adjusted and transition to the new family structure without a huge amount of conflict along the way, which is very damaging to children, to their emotional well-being. So it's really important to gain that emotional support up front. So if you think of the divorce coach like going to an emergency department at the hospital, they will be then looking at what you need to be able to go through the process. Just think of it like if you fell and you hurt your leg and you suspect you've got a broken leg. You wouldn't go straight to the surgeon to be able to get them to check your leg, to do the x-rays, to be able to then put a cast on your leg and all those kinds of things, do an operation to put pins in. No, you would go to the emergency department and go through that level of process whereby you start with the people that will help comfort you, get your meds organized so that you are comfortable and calm, and then refer you to have your x-ray done, then refer you to have the doctor surgeon appointment if it's got to have pins put in. So it's all about making sure that you're going to the right professional at the right time. It saves you money, it saves you stress and anxiety, and it saves you a long, lengthy court process. So I'm a real advocate for emotional support for families at the onset of separation, because that is what is going to take to help you get to the other side with the least amount of damage done to yourselves and to your children. So if you would like to reach out to be able to talk about the next steps in your separation, you can contact me at the Divorce Centre, whereby we'll be able to talk through what the next steps are.